We spend billions on supplements, superfoods, and diets designed by Silicon Valley. We calculate macros, track steps, and obsess over every calorie input. Yet, in the harshest environment on Earth, the high altitudes of the Himalayas, monks survive and thrive on a diet so simple, it looks like starvation. They rarely suffer from the chronic diseases that plague the West: diabetes, heart failure, and crushing mental fog. What if the secret to perfect health wasn't adding more complexity, but radically subtracting it? What if the most powerful nutritional science was written in monastery texts 800 years ago, and we simply forgot how to read it? If you are ready to uncover the forgotten wisdom of the rooftop of the world, hit that subscribe button now, because this is a journey back to radical simplicity. Our journey takes us to Tibet, a land defined by extreme elevation, bitter cold, and profound scarcity. This environment dictates survival. The Tibetan monastic tradition didn't just adapt to this environment, it mastered it, developing a dietary philosophy rooted not in calorie counting, but in spiritual efficiency and deep ecological respect. To understand their wisdom, we need to forget everything we think we know about nutrition and look at their undisputed king of the kitchen, Tsampa. Tsampa is, quite simply, roasted barley flour. That's it. But its simplicity is its genius. For millennia, it has been the lifeblood of the Tibetan plateau. Unlike raw grain, barley is roasted before being ground, a process that makes it incredibly easy to digest immediately, and more importantly, allows it to be stored indefinitely without going bad, a non-negotiable trait for nomadic peoples and monks living in isolated monasteries. To consume tsampa, you don't cook it. You simply mix it with the core of their liquid diet, yak butter tea. This tea is potent, a churning mixture of black tea, salt, and yak butter. It sounds repulsive to the Western palate, but it is the key to their survival. The monks roll the tsampa and butter tea mixture into small, dense balls called pei and eat them throughout the day. This is their fuel. It is their protein. It is their vegetable. It is their everything. This diet violates almost every modern nutritional rule we hold sacred. It's high in saturated fat, very high in carbohydrates, and extremely low in variety. So, how do they maintain such robust health and longevity? The answer lies in the philosophy behind the food: Sowa Rigpa. Sowa Rigpa is the traditional system of Tibetan medicine. It views health not just as the absence of disease, but as a dynamic balance between the body, mind, and spirit. In Sowa Rigpa, food is the primary medicine. They don't eat to satisfy a craving, they eat to achieve balance. Tibetan medicine posits that the human body is governed by three principal energies, or humas: wind, lung, bile, tripa, and phlegm, bekan. When these three are in equilibrium, you are healthy. When they are out of balance, disease occurs. And here is where modern nutritionists miss the mark. The monks understand that the food itself is merely a tool to regulate these humours. For example, the high altitude and extreme cold naturally increase the wind humour, which is associated with movement, anxiety, and restlessness. To counteract the cold and light nature of wind, they need foods that are heavy, hot, and oily. Enter yak butter. The sheer volume of saturated fat they consume is not a dietary luxury. It is a thermal necessity. It provides sustained, slow-burning energy required to endure the sub-zero temperatures and the oxygen deprivation of the high plateau. Furthermore, the fat in the yak butter is often fermented or minimally processed, which fundamentally changes its structure and makes it easier for their bodies to utilize. They are eating a diet perfectly optimized for their unique physical environment, something we in the West, constantly chasing global superfoods, have entirely forgotten. Your environment dictates your optimal diet. But the wisdom goes deeper than just survival. It's about mental clarity. The monastic life demands intense, sustained meditation. A heavy, highly varied, or difficult to digest diet leads to mental fog, sluggishness, and distraction, the very enemies of enlightenment. The tsampa and butter tea diet is radically simple, consistent, and easy on the digestive system. This constancy frees up immense mental energy. Their physical diet directly supports their spiritual practice. They are not just feeding the body, they are fueling the mind's highest function. We, in the industrialized world, treat the digestive system like a garbage disposal, constantly overloading it with novel stimuli, hundreds of ingredients, additives, and complex preparations 3 times a day. The monks give their system consistent, reliable, and easily manageable fuel. They understand that a calm gut leads to a calm mind. This brings us to the second pillar of their forgotten wisdom, the power of subtraction. The monks practice a powerful form of dietary minimalism. They don't graze. They don't snack out of boredom. They are masters of conscious consumption, often eating only 2 main meals. Furthermore, they regularly engage in intense fasting rituals, such as the 9 practice, which involves periods of complete abstinence from food and sometimes water, followed by very limited consumption. Modern science is finally catching up to this concept through the study of autophagy, the body's natural process of cleaning out damaged cells to regenerate newer, healthier ones. Autophagy is strongly stimulated by fasting. The monks, through centuries of practice, intuitively understood how to activate the body's self-cleaning mechanism, long before we had the vocabulary for molecular biology. They view periods of food scarcity not as hardship, but as necessary maintenance. In our world of overwhelming abundance, we have lost the ability to be truly hungry, physically, mentally, and spiritually. The monks maintain a state of subtle hunger, a deep respect for the fuel they receive, which sharpens their senses and reinforces discipline. This leads to the most profound and perhaps most challenging lesson for us, the ritual of respect. For a Tibetan monk, food is not just a source of calories, it is an offering. Every single meal is consumed with ritual and mindfulness. Before eating, they offer a small portion to the deities, acknowledging the source of the sustenance. The consumption itself is often done in complete silence. Contrast this with our modern eating habits, standing over the sink, scrolling through a phone, eating while driving, or consuming massive portions while watching television. We engage in mindless eating, divorcing the act of consumption from the reality of the food's origin or its effect on our body. We eat fast, we eat cheap, and we eat distracted. The monk's slow, silent, respectful consumption maximizes the digestive process. When you eat mindfully, your body is primed to receive the nutrients. Your parasympathetic nervous system is engaged. You maximize absorption and minimize stress on the system. They are extracting 100% efficiency from their simple sampa, while we extract 30% from our expensive, complex superfoods because we are eating in a state of stress or distraction. The forgotten wisdom is not that barley is a magic food. The forgotten wisdom is that our relationship with food, our respect, our mindfulness, our willingness to accept simplicity is 90% of the nutritional equation. The moment of revelation occurs when you understand the sampa ritual. They don't add flavor. They don't add complexity. They simply take the roasted grain and the necessary fat and consume it with total presence. The result is total physical and mental optimization achieved through subtraction, not addition. The monks achieved metabolic clarity by removing the noise of constant craving, the noise of excessive choices, and the noise of distraction. Their vengeance against disease and metabolic chaos was simple. They never gave it a foothold by maintaining perfect equilibrium through radical, respectful simplicity. They understood that the gut is the second mind, and a simple diet is the prerequisite for spiritual ascent. We often believe that the answer to our health problems must be complex: a new supplement, a complicated diet plan, or advanced technology. The Tibetan monks show us the ultimate irony. The path to perfect balance is often boring. It requires discipline, consistency, and a profound respect for the simplest, most fundamental ingredients. Stop chasing the next trendy superfood. Instead, ask yourself, am I eating what my body truly needs for my environment? And am I eating with the respect and presence that this fuel deserves? The health we seek is not found in expensive powders. It's found in the humility of roasted barley and the clarity of a focused mind. What simple changes are you going to make to honor the fuel you put into your body? Let me know in the comments below. If this video changed the way you think about your next meal, Share it with someone who needs to hear this ancient wisdom. Thank you for watching, and find your balance.